Mr. Transformers96 here with another video. I'm going to be talking about some new images of the newest Spider-Man Marvel Legends series. So this is the Space Knight Venom Build-A-Figure series of Spider-Man figures, and we have been getting a little bit more information about this wave as of recently. I've made a video or two talking about it because we did get a full reveal of the characters in this wave via back art, as well as a confirmation with some very blurry back art of the Build-A-Figure. Now we not only have some in-person images, but we have the official high-res images of this wave, which is very exciting. And it's about time, considering on Big Bad Toy Store this wave is set to hit retail and to be released next month. I don't think it's going to make next month. I think that the X-Men wave will make it next month, and this wave will probably hit August or maybe early September. That's my guess, but it is scheduled for July at the moment. Alright, let's talk about it. So, character-wise, I've discussed what I thought about the characters. This is more going to be talking specifically about the figures, because while some of these were on display at Toy Fair, a couple of these weren't. So, and we also get to see their accessories, which is interesting. So, first of all, just going over Spider-Man there. That's the Ultimate Spider-Man. It is apparently on a new body, a new Spider-Man body. It doesn't look new to me, to be honest. It looks exactly the same, except they've taken away that butterfly joint at the shoulders. That's a joint that I really love. It comes in handy a ton, and it's a lot of fun for a Spider-Man character. So it is a shame to see that go away. I think the torso has been a bit elongated. However, the legs and arms look identical to me. If it is a resculpt, it's a worthless resculpt because there's really nothing different. His physique has stayed just as kind of the slim Spider-Man should be, and it doesn't look any different. So overall, I am not excited for that figure, other than the fact that it comes with a Peter Parker head sculpt. I think that's quite nice. Like I say with Captain America figures, the same goes for Spider-Man, that I'm okay. I don't particularly enjoy it, but I'm okay buying the same character, Captain America and Spider-Man, over and over and over, as long as they do something to make it interesting and new. And with Spider-Man so far they have. With Captain America for a long time, there was really just nothing new about his figures. They're finally starting to do some new stuff, like the throw-in shield accessory. Now this is a great new accessory for Peter Parker. What I would have liked is, instead of the extra hands, because we have a million, just about all the other Spider-Mans come with those hands, and they're very nice. They come in handy. However, I would have preferred like a backpack or something, because I'm definitely going to display this one as Peter Parker, because I have classic Spider-Mans on my shelf already. And then there's Spider-Girl. It's like Barton Spider-Girl, I believe. When the first image of her came out, I read up on her character. It's been a little while now, but I believe that she's like she's the, I have my phone on. She's the daughter of Hawkeye, and then the granddaughter of Spider-Man, which is kind of, or maybe, yeah, I believe that's how it goes, which is kind of an interesting little combo there. But she looks okay. Her design is kind of neat. I like the way that she has bare shoulders. We don't really see that with Spider-Man characters. Usually it's the full body costumes. So to see some bare shoulders is kind of interesting. Shakes things up a bit from your classic Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Spider-Girl design, basically. The head looks good, and I like how part of the mask is exposed as well. Yeah, doesn't look like anything too fantastic. I can't tell. I believe that is on one of the smaller petite body sculpts for women, similar to what we saw with one of the Spider-Girls, another Spider-Girl character from the Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure wave, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's the size body that she's on. She could be on a normal size woman's body, though I'm not quite sure. Character is somewhat interesting, but figure, it's pretty plain to me, just because it's just a repaint with a different head, and the head doesn't look too extravagant, and a very plain expression. Then we go to the Miles Morales Spider-Man. This is one that a lot of people are going to be excited for. I'm very happy that it does come with a head sculpt and not just his masked version, so that's really nice. It is just another repaint, of course, but that head sculpt makes it Sorry about that, my camera ran out of space, but like I was saying, having that extra head sculpt is definitely going to make it feel very different, and it's a character that a lot of people enjoy, so it will be nice to get that figure of, although the figure itself, I don't think it's going to be too interesting because it is, you know, it's almost identically a repaint, even the same Spider-Man hands and everything, and what really sucks is it's not like a repaint from just some other wave, it's a repaint within this wave, but still, it is still nice to get that character, even though the figure doesn't look too extravagant. Then we have Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin looks awesome as far as it's a completely new sculpt. As far as I'm aware, it's 100% new, which is great. It won't be for long, though. They're obviously going to reuse it as a Green Goblin eventually. This is just what I'm assuming, but Hasbro doesn't make any sculpts from Marvel Legends that they can't reuse, and this is a very easy one to reuse, and who doesn't want them to, because everybody wants a Green Goblin. So I'll be very excited for their Green Goblin. Hopefully he comes with a different glider. He certainly should. But this Hobgoblin looks really nice. The only problem I have with it is it does kind of throw off a 90s cartoon vibe. It doesn't scream comic to me. Maybe that's just me though, but it does have a very cartoonish appearance rather than comic, and I would of course prefer the comic look. Maybe it's a lack of deco in the paint. The paint is very flat. There's really no shading from what I can see here, but costume itself looks really nice, and it's always great to get a new sculpt. His secondary head is very interesting. It's not a Hobgoblin that I know, however, it looks a little bit more visually interesting, and a little, it makes it look a little bit more like a comic book character. That face is looking really 90s cartoon to me as well, but who knows. Then we have Silk. I think I read up on Silk, but I can't remember anything about her character. She looks kind of interesting. I like her hair a lot. I think that the sculpting on the hair looks really nice. It is going to hinder articulation, but you know, that's just kind of expected. I love that you get two head sculpts, one with the bandana on, one with it off, and they do still include that bandana, so you can put it around her neck when she doesn't have it on, like she's just put it down, which I think is great. Also, anybody who wants to make an Electra custom figure from the Netflix Daredevil show, that's a perfect head sculpt for you with the bandana on. Just if anybody hasn't thought about that, this is an excellent figure to buy to do that custom. But figure itself looks, I like the head sculpts a lot. I'm very interested because of her head sculpts, and I'm glad she comes with two, because that's something they could have easily not done. They could have just given you one, but they did give you two, and the sculpting on the hair looks very nice. Figure itself, though, again, another repaint, and it's another just Spider-Woman repaint, you know, basically, where it's just complete bodysuit that just has paint that's different in different spider symbols, basically. It'll look nice in a group shot with all of your spider characters. However, just actually paying $20 to get another one is not the funnest thing to do. And then there's my most anticipated of the wave. When I heard and when I first saw the very quick and very small and kind of blurry image of Electro, I was super stoked for it. Seeing it, the official images, I'm very, very disappointed. I was totally hoping for a classic Electro. It looks like, I'm not quite sure what version of Electro this is. The Ultimate one's completely blue, so I don't think it's the Ultimate one, but it is some sort of variation, modern version of Electro, which I'm not too happy with. I like the classic one a lot, and now luckily they do give you the classic head, so I'm very happy about that, but it's on the body of the new one, which isn't a ton different, but it's still different enough that I'm very disappointed. The biggest thing is he doesn't have the gloves with the electric bolt you know, attached onto them. Those gloves are awesome. They're very classic Electro, and I would have loved to have that with the classic Electro head. And then his hands are shooting out blue electricity. The classic Electro should be shooting out a yellow electricity. That's something I'm super disappointed with. If they gave you two sets of hands, I would be okay with it. Or even if they gave you a set of hands that wasn't shooting electricity, that would be much better. But instead they gave you sorry, I've been talking so long, the screen went black. But instead, they gave you no option. You have to use electricity, and it has to be blue, which is a big disappointment. If you want him in that type of look, then you're all set. But for me, who wants a classic Electro, I'm going to repaint the hands, and I'm going to put the head on, and the classic head on, and there's not much I can do about the gloves, but I would have really loved to have a nice classic Electro. Luckily, they did put him on the old Spider-Man body, so he will have that butterfly joint, which is nice, and that's more of his scale. You know, obviously the movie one had a larger physique, so it is nice that they did put him on a Spider-Man mold rather than a Bucky Cap mold, which they could have easily mistakenly done. And then you do, of course, have the range of Build-A-Figure pieces. First, just to get a shot of them in package. Nothing different to talk about. Obviously, smallest pieces with Hobgoblin because he comes with the biggest accessories. Biggest pieces with the character that comes with no accessories. So pretty standard there. And then to take a look at the Build-A-Figure himself. So here is the Space Knight Venom. I've heard of people call him just Space Venom, although I think that his official name is Space Knight Venom. Looking very cool. This is a character that, from what I can understand, he's kind of joined the Guardians of the Galaxy, but he still does his own thing. So he's in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe, but he's kind of just doing his own thing. He has his own comic line, which is kind of interesting. And apparently he has had no interaction with the actual Spider-Man. So even though he is obviously here Venom, you immediately associated him with Spider-Man. However, this specific version of Venom doesn't really have any interaction with Spider-Man from what I'm aware of. So it is interesting that they included him in this wave. When I first heard about this guy being the Build-A-Figure, like I've discussed before, I was disappointed with it. However, researching it and taking a look at his design, it did start to grow on me, and it certainly has. This is very cool. I like it a lot. I think that it's a much more muscular, bigger, beefier Venom. The head sculpt is really unique. What is it? I think that it's like, it kind of reminds me of like a Ben 10 character maybe. The head sculpt for some reason reminds me of something, but I can't put my finger on what it reminds me of, but I do like it. I think that it does look cool. I like the hands, they're very aggressive, and then I do love the fact that he does have the Guardians of the Galaxy symbol on his shoulder. That was something that I did mention that I couldn't tell from the first image of this guy because it was such bad quality, but I was hoping that they would put that detail in, and they did, which is great. Articulation looks really standard. Ball hinge head. You can't see the hinge, but I assume that's what it is. Then ball hinge shoulders, biceps, swivel hinge elbows, swivel hinge wrists, ab crunch with a waist swivel, ball jointed thighs with thigh swivel, double hinge knees, and hinge pivoting ankles. Very standard for Marvel Legends. Nothing exceeding Marvel Legends standards, but certainly nothing coming in below it, which is nice. Getting a quick look at it in person, you can get a better grasp on the size of it. You know, it looks alright. Size-wise, I don't think it's great. I think that, as far as Build-A-Figures go, you know, they really should be a lot bigger than their characters. And this isn't looking too big. I think the Juggernaut one is going to be much bigger than this guy. However, he's still nice. It's obviously a new mold, and he is bigger than your average character, so you do still feel a bit of a bang for your buck. But when you compare it to some of the other Build-A-Figures, I don't think it's that big. And I would have probably went with a different character just because of the size. However, character-wise, like I said, I am enjoying this. I'm excited to get it. I think it's going to look great with some of the other Venoms. Recently, because there have been so many Spider-Man waves, they've done quite a few different Venoms. They just did a classic one, and then there's a superior one, an Agent Venom, and now with this one, just having, you know, 4 different versions of Venom is going to be really cool. So I'm excited to get this, and I think it's going to look nice with some of the other Venoms. I can see this being quite an off-putting BAF, considering it's not that big. It's not, you know, very big, and a character that I don't think many people know. But I think that people that do know him do enjoy him because he's kind of, he does his own thing. He's a bit of an off-take on your classic Venom character. And this is up for pre-order, like I've discussed, on Big Bad Toy Store for $145 if you just want the set. And then if you want a full case, which comes with 2 Ultimate Spider-Mans and 2 Miles Morales Spider-Mans, then it'll be $160, I believe. Overall, I think it's a pretty weak set, to be honest. You know, I've said in when I was talking about these, you know, I did express my liking for some of them. However, I think that a lot of them are just repaints. The Electro, which is the character I'm most excited for, they haven't done great. And then Hobgoblin, I think, looks the best. However, again, he throws out a cartoon vibe, which I don't like. Yeah, it's a pretty weak wave in my opinion, unless these are characters that you specifically love. But figure-wise, doesn't look like anything fantastic, and their character choices are are a little offbeat. You got some that I think people are going to love, like Miles Morales and probably Hobgoblin, but the rest I think are a little bit offbeat and probably not super attractive for many collectors. And then the Build-A-Figure, again, is another one that I don't think a lot of people are going to love, but the people that do love it, I think will really enjoy it. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the official images of this new Spider-Man wave. I will be getting it just because I really do buy all the waves of Marvel Legends, and there's a couple characters in this set that I really want, and then I do want the Build-A-Figure. But other than that, not super excited for it. I'm not going to pre-order this one. I'll probably just try to get it on a good discount from like Hasbro.com for the entire set, or maybe I'll just hunt for it in the wild, because I doubt that this wave is going to be super hard to track down. I think this is going to be an easier one to get. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the Spider-Man wave. Let me know what you guys think of it, and thanks so much for watching.